And today I'd like to share with you my thoughts on growing and harvesting a continuous improvement mindset within your business. And I'll tell you the secret, it's a real game changer. A recent study by the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants revealed that UK businesses adopting continuous improvement practices saw a 15% rise in operational efficiency and a cut by 12% in operational costs within the first year. Now picture this, you run a company, right? So imagine if everyone from the top execs to the team members at the coalface, and they were constantly on the lookout for ways to make things happen, make things better. That's the magic of continuous improvement. First off, it's all about staying ahead of that curve. And in this fast-paced world, businesses need to adopt or they'll simply get left behind. So by embracing continuous improvement, you're always evolving and getting better. And that's not just good for business, it's good for morale too. People thrive when they see their ideas making a real difference. Plus, it's a bit like compound interest. You make a small tweak over here, a small adjustment over there, and before you know it, you've got a big pile of progress. It's not always about reinventing the wheel, you know. Sometimes it's just about fine-tuning and refining for the things that you've already got. Another thing, it fosters a culture of innovation. When everyone feels empowered to speak out and suggest improvements, you never know where the next big real thing comes from. It could be from the employee restroom or the boardroom. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is that the ideas flow freely, sparking creativity and driving the business forward. And let's not forget about efficiency. Continuous improvement helps streamline processes. It eliminates waste and boosts productivity. It's like greasing the wheels of a well-oiled machine. Things just run smoother. And that means more time for resources to focus on what really matters, making businesses profitable, successful, and a great place to be. Now, I've got an example for you here from my days at Amscan International, where I was head of logistics. For many manual picking operations where stock items are picked from specific locations and then staged directly into the shipping media for dispatch, the speed, efficiency, and accuracy, all enveloped within a safe working environment, are extremely important. For the majority of my picking team, they were insisting at their one-to-ones that their pick rate had hit a ceiling, and they found it that they could no longer improve. The comment was also supported by the picking raw data. In fact, the lines per man hour had decreased to a point where additional resource was having to be brought in, and this simply wasn't good enough. I organised a series of dedicated workshops that included my management team and also my warehouse operatives. They're the key ingredient. After all, the experts in the process, right? Anyway, the uptake to be part of a CR project was extremely encouraging, and collectively, we quickly defined what our desired state was to be. In fact, through the workshops, we utilised a 6-stage fail-safe process that I learned from my experience at Unipart. Number 1, identify the problem. Number 2, what are the causes? Number 3, what options do we have to provide a resolution? Number 4, finesse the options to create a powerful solution. Number 5, implement those solutions. And number 6, measure those results. With the problem being clearly defined, that the pick rate had hit its ceiling, and the data demonstrating to us that in fact our picking performance had gone down, we quickly set to work on identifying the perceived causes. If I recall, the workshop team were on a roll, and the list of causes quickly filled my whiteboard. But for now, I wanted to concentrate on just the top contributors to poor performance. So we selected the top 5 and decided to revisit the remaining causes later on in the project. Our 5 areas to address were: so the first, signal dropouts on portable handheld terminals. The second, MHE forklift pallet picking. You know, they were in the same aisle as the pedestrian trolley picks. The third, frequently picked trolley stock items were running out far too often. The fourth, the pedestrian trolley picking path was taking far too long to walk and navigate through at times. And lastly, number 5, some of those picking locations were visited on far too many occasions for single trolley picks. Whilst diving deeper into these causes, we collected a number of brilliant ideas on how these could be addressed. So what were those final solutions that we decided to implement? So for the signal dropout, our IT team became involved, and over a relatively short period of time, they created a heat map of strong signal strength and equally areas where the signal was poor, and thus leading to the terminals dropping connectivity. The solution? We increased the number of Wi-Fi access points in the areas where the signal strength was at its weakest, and the problem was solved. For the MHE pallet picking that was compromising the pedestrian trolley picks, so working with our inventory team, they identified all of the slowest and out of season stock pallets in the warehouse, and over a period of 2 weeks, they subsequently replaced any fast moving pallets with this stock into the areas directly above the pedestrian trolley picking zone. This was then reviewed weekly for sustainment, and the problem was solved. For stock items that ran out far too often, so our demand planning team became engaged in this project and provided us with a valuable insight into the future stock demand volumes. Our solution was to create dynamic palletized pick locations. These locations will be filled with one SKU that could service high volume, high frequency picks, especially useful when it came to seasonal line activities. This was reviewed daily for the following day's pick, and the problem was solved. For the trolley pick paths being too long, so again, with insight being provided by the demand planning team and that of the inventory team, the solution of moving out of season and the slowest moving SKUs to the back of the pick path and then pulling forward to the beginning of the pick path, all of those items deemed to be seasonal and in most demand was implemented. And yes, the problem was solved. And finally, for the multiple visits to the same pick location. This solution involved our WMS system developers, and we had to amend how the item picks were being instructed to the picker. You see, for some of the picks, the items were held in a location that was down a very small aisle, and in these aisles they were no longer than the width of, say, a door. This meant that on a picking trolley where up to 20 orders could be staged, the picker had to navigate up and down the aisle up to 20 occasions for the same item. Think about this, one line picked could take up to 15 minutes to complete. The solution was that we changed the picking process so that the picker would enter the aisle just once and pick the whole of the items, the required items on the staged order trolley. Then, returning to the trolley, the picker would then receive a follow-up instruction on the terminal of the quantity of how many were to be placed into each of those staged orders. And yes, you guessed it, the problem was solved. So you see, these 5 simple CI initiatives became a game changer for the business. Our remeasured results not only led to us attaining the initial desired state by uplifting the lines per man hour by 15%, but the impact went further. It also removed the conflict of MHE and the pedestrian picking trolleys in those aisles. The single action completely eliminated a hazard, resulting in a positive contribution towards health and safety and ultimately the welfare of our people. And there's one extra. That buzz of success and empowerment handed to the team inspired future CI projects. So there you have it. The benefits of continuous improvement, growing and harvesting that mindset are clear. You're staying ahead of the curve, you're fostering innovation, and you're driving efficiency. It's not just a strategy, It's a way of life. And trust me, once you start down that road, there's no turning back. Anyway, that's enough from me. And thanks very much for your time, and keep on improving.